So, uh, so what is a document? What is a document for you people? Can you tell me? What do you think is a document? Document is something like where you write all the information, right? Whatever you know. It may be your simply your personal diary, that is also a document, or your normal copies, right? Wherever you write your notes, that can also be a document, right? Or everything which you jotted down is a document, right? Now let's start know that what is a software document. So basically, any written text, okay, any written text can be a document that basically describe a software, a program is a document. Now it can be any video also. If any video describe any document, like any software, like you have whenever you buy any this one laptop or something, you get a CD, right? You get a CD with of the operating system there, that you can restore that operating system. I don't know nowadays you get or not, but before, for formatting also we can use that CD. For Windows 8 version it was available, you get the CD. So that CD-ROM is contains the information for how to upload, how you will install the operating system. So that CD is also a document. It is not always that anything you write in a copy or something is a document. It can be a video that needs it can be a video, or it can be a CD, but that needs to describe the software when it comes to a software document. So that is why anything that describes a software or program to its user is called a software document or program. It can be called a software document, like any some other also. If you Google it, you will find software document is also called as program. Okay, so and who are the users? Who are the users of the software document? It can be anyone, starting from a programmer, like we have already studied the phases in SDLC, where we know that after the first phase, that is the requirement analysis or the requirement gathering, a document is prepared containing all the document information what the user needs and not their software requirement specification. So that is given to the designers, then based on that software requirement specification they do go for the designing. So that is also a that is used by the designer. So anyone can, that means a software document user can be anyone, starting from a programmer to a system analyst to any administrator, or us normal end users. So anyone can be a end user. So anyone can be a user of the document. Now you go for the third line that's mentioned at various stages of development. Multiple documents may be created for different users. As we know that after first phase, SRS is created, that is software requirement specification, that is a document that is created for the designers also, so that they understand the user requirement, what are the needed, and they design accordingly. And also that SRS is present to the shown to the customers also, I mean their clients also, to verify these are the verify the features and functionalities of their software. Okay, so that is the so it is as that documentation serves as different for different users. So it can be multiple types. Now that is, and it is also called that software documentation is a critical process in the overall software development. Let me tell you, software documentation starts from the very early stage. It's not that after your programming is done, your project is deployed, in the maintenance phase only we go for documentation. Documentation starts from the very first day of requirement gathering. The requirement is gathered, that is also that is also documented. After that the designs are also documented, then the codes are also documented, and then later all the phases like testing phase, what are the test cases you have used, that are also documented. So every phase, how are you using it, every phase is documented. Why? So that any user after like he leaves the organization, any programmer or any designer may join in, and they can understand, if they go through the document, they can understand the software. So what is the software all about? For example, we we go for, if we find any problem in our laptop, or we are finding some issue, how do we troubleshoot, like any software is not working? Nowadays Google is there, right? So we Google the problem, that this is the error we are finding in our, using some software. You directly go Google it and just check for the documentation of it. So that documentation, someone have written some blogs, you read through it, okay, or someone has making a video, so that is also like about your errors you are facing, that is also a like document. So everything, as I mentioned, YouTube video can also be a document, right? So that is why these documentations are very important, so that at any stage you are stuck, you can come out of it by going through it. Now, what does this modular programming mean? In fourth line, it's written in modular programming documentation. So what happens in big organizations, like your entire project is divided into separate modules. Modules means, now in simple terms you understand, unit, different, like your software engineering subject, think about the subject syllabus. This syllabus is divided into small modules, that is small units that consist of 5 units. Okay, we are now in the second unit. Okay, so first module consists of some topics, different topics, and second module consists of some different topics. So similarly, third, fourth, fifth also. Similarly, in programming also, every project is divided into separate modules, and every module, like every programmer needs to document what are the changes they have made, what are the things they have done in the software, in each phases. So there may be different phase, like requirement gathering may be a one phase, the designing may be one phase, then coding one phase. So everything is should be documented. Why? Because if there is no proper documentation is there, then people's working in the design team, they don't know what's going in the coding team. The people have coded, but what code they have used in their program, they are not aware of it. But if they maintain a proper documentation, they can just go through it and they understand, okay, these people have used the codes in this way, this logics has been used in the program, so they are aware of it. So every department is aware, every module is aware of it, like programmer, like whether what are the test cases used. Then see, the test cases or the testing team, they test the codes, like the implementation based on the coding. After they see that, once they see the documentation of the coding part, some if just think, if there was no proper documentation, if the program was developed in Python or something like that, and like either like say like forget about now Python, let's say a field was designed to enter the email address, okay, and they type something like they don't know what is the purpose of this, and they give some different like 1 2 3 and everything, that they don't know what they are using. So these things like happen when they are not aware of it, like what they have used in place of email, they are writing the phone numbers and everything, each field. So they have a proper understanding that what are the validations that have been done, applied to the system. So that is known as modular programming, means different each software is divided into different modules, and people are working in different modules, and proper documentation is maintained, so that every like people's working in different modules are aware what is going in others module. Again, if any other than the development team wants to or needs to understand a module, then is also possible. Someone from the management, if want to understand what the project is developed about, right, how the project is developed, if he goes through that manual or the software document, he gets a proper understanding of it. Okay, till this point, any confusion? Software document, I had just described whatever is written. Software document, see, just meaning that software requirement is very, a software document is very important, and it can be any written document, which describes a software, or it can be any video file, it can be a CD-ROM, so it can be anything. But probably that needs to give an illustration of software or some program. Software document is also called as a program, and its users can be anyone, starting from the end users like us to anyone like system developers, analysts, administrators, management. So it can, so that anyone can go through it and they understand it. Now, different at different stages, multiple documents are prepared. We know after requirement gathering, one document will be prepared, that is the SRS. After designing, also another document that will consist of all the designs, and that will be given to the handover to the coding team or implementation team. The people will then code accordingly according to the design, and the codes will be given to the testing team. Based on that codes, also other things will be testing will be done. Then the testing team hand over it to the maintenance team, so they are aware of it. So, and also it's not that after the it's a software documentation starts from the very first day of product development. Okay, very first day of SDLC. So many people think that they have the notion that after the project is done, then only we go for the documentation, but it's not so. In reality, project documentation, everything, the meeting held with your clients, the business management, analyst, everything needs to be documented. And in so and so that this meeting was held, the outcome of the meeting was this one. So everything needs to be documented. Till this point clear? Did I go fast? I don't know. Yes, students, just tell me if you understood this part or not.
Ma'am, can you explain me the number 5th point in modular programming documentation becomes more
Okay.
important?
Okay. See, like modular programming, just I mentioned what those before coming to modular programming, we must know what is a module. Module means unit. So what happens when people works in different units, they are not aware of what the other team is doing. Just think now it's a team, okay, other team is doing, they are not aware of it. Okay, so in that case, if you don't have a proper documentation, then it becomes really difficult for the other teams to understand what's going on in the other team. And suppose you are working in the testing team, okay, and some other people are working in the coding team, and you people have no communication. Generally, actually there is no communication, but there is a software document is there, so that every because the coding people, they maintain a software document. Okay, they all the codes they have done, they all the logics they have implemented, they write it in the document. Okay, and then that document, the code the testing team, they checks it and they understand, okay, these are the logic they have applied. Now based on the coding part, they develop their own test cases. Okay, so but if there is no such document, so what happens is the testing team is not aware of what coding has been used, which programming language has been used in the program, or what logic has been used in the program. They will simply check the program, they will simply test, and in that case it may listen. Then all the bugs, why do people go for testing? There is a separate testing team, because so that they are able to try out every cases possible to detect the errors. If they are not aware of the proper, that they are not clear about the proper coding language, proper concept use, logic use, without any documentation, they won't be able to rectify the errors properly. Are you clear now, Sagar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, moving next. Next. Okay, for creating a good document, it's not that like in your notes you have you write maintain just write your copy in your copy also, anything whatever from here and there, whatever you wish to write. It should not be such. There, the software document do have some guidelines for a good software document. For okay, so what is that? These are some of the guidelines I have mentioned. These are not the all. There may be more of them, but these are just a few. First is documentation should be from the point of view of the reader. That means documentation should be such that it is understandable by the reader. Anyone who reads it is a reader, right? Anyone who reads your document should understand what is going on, what's going on in the software. Okay, if someone I have implemented the code, and that for like, let me give you a good example. Have you seen, you many of you have like copied the programs from this one, in normal C programs only you copy from internet. Did you notice when do you copy there are this comments written side, like overside? Why do they write the comments? So that anyone who reads the program, they understand what logic they are using, what is the purpose of the comment, because it increases the readability. Similarly, in documentation, it should be written in such a manner that it is understandable by anyone. Like proper, they should not use some bombastic words or like the complicated, and so that it's not understandable by normal people. See, you after you buy your phone, you get a manual. Okay, manual. With that, just check your manual, all the descriptions are written, how the software was developed and everything. So if you see the pictures, or the pictures are also there, right? If you face any problem of how to enter the SIM card to your phone, you just now check that manual and understand, okay, in this way numbering are done, this is part, this part. Why? So that it can be understand by anyone. You are not the mobile developers, you are not the mobile developers, you have not developed the handset, but still by going through that manual you can understand it. If you are first facing any problem also, what we do, we tend to use that manual only, right? Before, so much of YouTube videos were not made, right? Now if someone wants to make a YouTube video also, like for something, first he need to read the manual, and then he need to have a proper research of anything, then only he can make the video. Making a video just don't work, like it won't be effective until and unless you have done proper research. So how do you do the research? After you have gone through the manual, you find, okay, you understand the things, and then only you go for making a video. But apart from this, so that is why means a manual should be such so that it is understandable by all. Next point is document should be unambiguous. Unambiguous means like ambiguity. I think you people are aware of it. Ambiguity, that is, you say you have some word and that means two different things. So we are not aware if they are using this diagram. It can be anything. Like and we are like. It should not mean that if one word you are using, that word should be used everywhere so that it is understandable. Okay, that should word should mean throughout the entire document. You should use that word to refer to something in the entire document. You are now using one word for meaning something now, but later you are using that using some different name for that word. So the like readers get confused, like you are talking about what, so that is known as ambiguous. Okay, so we should make it such, the document should be such that it is most consistent, and it and nothing is repeat, like, and same the pattern is followed everywhere, so it is unambiguous. Next, there should not be repetition. Same thing should not be repeated. You have written one thing, you have already documented your flowchart, right? You have already done your flowchart. Same flowchart, you cannot repeat it once more. Okay, it's not required, so no repetition should be there. Then obviously industry standards should be followed. There are certain standards are there. For example, when you will go for your thesis also, you need to prepare a document. Thesis is something you submit it after you make your project, right? You have to prepare a documentation that is known as a thesis. So you submit your project thesis. So according to the your college guidelines, according to the university guidelines, edited, they will provide it how you need to drop like write your report. In that way only you should follow. Similarly, the industry, every industry, they have a manual. If you check this telephone directories, I don't know if people have seen or not. Even just leave about the telephone directories, is the old one. You can have a dictionary. If you Oxford dictionary, they follow one pattern. If you use some other dictionary, they will follow. The writing patterns are different for everyone. Okay. Similarly, these companies also, they follow different standards. It may be different for HP, so or and different for Dell. Okay, so that is why Dell follows different industry standards and everything, and some things will be common, but these standards are basically depends upon the organization itself. And documents should also always be updated. So anything you do in the software, whether you have modified something or everything, needs to be documented. A simple change like probably before there was only landline number option was available. Now you are putting, okay, add the phone mobile number also, that thing also be need to be updated. Now this WhatsApp, okay, this WhatsApp are like giving adding new features every day. So whatever that, like suppose a simple emoticon has been added, that thing is also be should be documented, should be written in the document, how they have added, what code they have used. So everything needs to be updated. And the last point is any outdated document should be phased out after due recording. That means anything that has been already recorded and is of no use, it's been outdated, so you can just remove it, you can discontinue that part. Okay, if that feature has already been added but is now you are not using it, like it has been upgraded, that volume has been upgraded, now you should discard it. Okay, this was about the guidelines. Now these are the advantages also. If you write a proper software document, you can have you can keep track of all parts of a software program. You can obviously, you know where the designing part, requirement gathering part, so you are aware of it. Then obviously maintenance is easier if you have a proper document. Then programmers other than the developers can understand all aspects of software. So it's not mandatory. If you have a proper software document, other than the programmers, anyone can understand. We have not developed our Android phones, right? We have not developed our Android phones, but still we are able to use it, like, and we understand their manuals, what they have written it. So that is why the software document should be such that other than the programmers, everyone is able to understand. And when we have a proper software documentation, then we know what are the bugs are there, and what is the overall quality of the software. So we that is it helps in improving also. So that is a new version. So in the first version, this something, in suppose let's take an example of WhatsApp. So these were the things like we know that video chat, then we video call, and then only messaging option was there. Later video WhatsApp call was added, video call was added. So we know that is how, by going through the documentation only, it improved its quality. Now more things will be added, like if we update your software like WhatsApp app, then you will see more the screen will be like changed and everything. So lot of things will be added every day. How come? Because by going if you have a proper documentation, no, if some people leaves the organization in the middle who was working in that part, then and proper documentation is maintained, no effect is done to the software. Because other new people will come, they will just go through the document, they will understand, okay, this has been done and this is the phase that he was doing, so he can just start working from that part. Next, it assists in user training. So user training, just as I tell you, if you are using your first phone, just go through it, and first we check the manual, how to insert the SIM card, how to on your phone, everything. So it works as a training, right? Proper software documentation. Next, ensures knowledge decentralization, cutting cost and effort if people leave the system abruptly. So as I mentioned, like what will happen if someone leaves the organization, so you can find it will help cutting cost, it will help in cutting cost also. We know where to start from, right? If the system has been broken suddenly and you don't know, like middle of the in middle of everything, your system got uh, like stopped working abruptly. So you based on the documentation, you can just make it again and try to uh, like uh, build the system. So these were the advantages. Next, these are some of the documents. Okay, these are the name of the documents are there. Types of documents. Okay, first is the user manual. So just I talked about it. The phone mobile manual we have. Anything you buy, whether you buy a simple microwave, then also you get a manual with it. You buy a simple one mixer grinder, you get a manual with it. Why? It consists basically instructions and procedures how to use their machine, right? The different features of the software. So next we have an operational manual. So basically it will list all the operations that can be carried out and their interdependency. So basically this operational manual also, you can think the how the machine works or something. So and if what are the what things are needed for it. Okay, what are the suppose power, you need some power system or for it. So and how much ampere, maybe for a microwave oven we need a 15 ampere plug. So all these things are mentioned in the operational manual, how it will function. And design document, as I mentioned in the after system design part, what does the system designer do? They create a document, right? They design the document after the this one, where it consists of, they draw design everything, like starting from flowchart or DFD or ER diagram. I think you people have this time RDBMS, so where you will learn this entity relationship diagrams, this diagrams or DFD. Basically if it's a database project, then we go for these diagrams. Okay, so various other UML diagrams are there. Once we do it, you will know about it. Now just heard about the various, like now you think flowcharts, like how the system works is drawn in that document. So that is known as its design document, since it consists of the design of the software. And that design document is given to the coder for implementation. And based on that design only they implement. Next is the requirement document. So requirement document, you are aware of it, is the same as the software requirement specification, like which consists what are the requirements of the system functionalities, what are the like things are needed, so where it will be used. Next we have a technical documentation. So basically it will document the like actually programming components, the algorithms that will be used by the coders, then flowchart, the program codes, various what are the modules will be there in the programs. All these things are technical documentation. Okay, next we have testing. So testing document will be used by the testing team, where they will mention like various validation plans and what are the how they have done their verification, what are the tested cases results, what are the results of the test like after testing. So all these things will be written in the testing document. And this list of known bugs, last one is a list of known bugs. So basically, when the software is developed, every software has some kinds of like errors, and how they can be, that can be harmless, or if they can, that can be harmless, or they can be like discovered very late. So these things are listed in your manual itself, this list of known bugs, what are the problems they are facing later. Because after going through these documents, if there are some errors left, they can work on that document implementation. That generally happens in the maintenance only. So this was all about the example documents and software documents. Any confusion? Everyone slept?
No, ma'am.
No, right? See, it's an easy part and the theoretical one. So just that I don't know. 14. If you have any confusion, please ask. Okay. No confusion?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then just wait. Let me take the attendance and. Okay, then if you people have no confusion, I'll be sharing the slide with you in the Google Classroom. Please go through it. And if you don't understand, just feel free to ask me. Okay, I'm stopping the class for today. Okay, thank you everyone. We have a class on Monday.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Class on Monday.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.